concerned citizens, taxpayers, and owners of this community college. I say owners as taxpayers of Phoenix County and Garden City are the owners of this community college. Not the state of Kansas, not the HLC, not the Board of Regents, Department of Education, whatever. The taxpayers, we own it. We decide what happens with it. The group I represent contributes a significant amount to this community college annually through substantial taxes, direct contributions, time, donations, and scholarships. And a significant contributor, we are disturbed by recent events. We originally organized a petition and a Facebook page for support. However, our friends at the Garden City Telegram decided to weaponize that. So, further people being harassed, we abandoned that project and come here today with a statement. To the board, 5 of you are doing a great job, and we really appreciate it, and we're extremely happy with the way that this direction is going. Done an exemplary job stewarding our money, done an exemplary job of taking care of acting conservatively as we have asked you to do and give us a community college that we're all proud of. President Swinder, equally the same. You're doing an exemplary job for us. The growth rate, low default rate, all of the things that we put out there, no state funding. We appreciate the leadership and the stewardship. You're doing a great job. We'd like you to continue. Administration, faculty, coaches, those of you following your leadership, contributing, doing what we hope that you're doing out here, we're greatly appreciative of that. And we know who you are. We know you folks that are behind us and doing what we want you to do. The taxpayer owners of this college. For the rest of you, we know who you are too. Thank you. Don't speak. This entire sordid incident started because 2 women threw a tantrum because they couldn't be in charge. And now we're dealing with this. To give you some perspective on this a little bit, I have traveled this world. I have been everywhere in this world, and I have seen real problems. I have seen poverty like you can't believe. I have seen people murdered on a daily basis. I have seen very, very serious problems. This obscenity of a report is not a problem. This is unbelievably childish first world nonsense that is not doing what we, the taxpayers, say we want done with this community college. We, the taxpayers, we, the owners of this community college, want this to stop. We want it to stop. We want you nice folks on the board who we elect and re-elect continuously. By us saying, by re-electing, we want you to take control. We don't want a Kansas City lawyer coming in telling us about our school, HLC, anybody else. But you, the trustees who we've elected, we have trust and faith in, to end this. Get back to doing our business. Let President Swinder do his business. Let the administrators who are helping him and those who aren't, get rid of them. You folks who are on this side of this party, we don't want you here. This is not what we want in our school. This is our school. We don't want you here. You have no root.
We need to maintain order.
She interrupted me. I'd like to have her removed.
Maintain order. We need to stay away from personal attacks. We may have a difference of opinion with whomever in the crowd, but the board wants to stay away from that type of personal attack. In this meeting, you made some comments that need to be considered by the public and the board, but we ask that you stay away from personal attacks on members of the public and members of the board.
No personal attacks. We would just like these folks not to be here. It's our school.
It needs to be done in an orderly fashion.
That's orderly. It's our school. We've made our statement known. We don't want these folks here. It's our school. Our school.
I'm sorry.
It's our school.
That's all I gotta say.
It's our school too.
Thank you for your comments. Next on the list, I got Zach Ward.
Your Honor, she just made a derogatory remark. Said it's absolutely a lie. I want her removed and I want her arrested. I want her arrested. We're driving.
I didn't.
I heard it and you heard it, you little prick.
Go.
Get him out of here.
Rodney, doctor, get out of here, bud.
So,
Get him out of here.
get him out of here.
please. I know this is a very emotional subject for a lot of people. We need to try to maintain those and do this in a dignified manner, in an official manner, so everybody's comments can be heard and people can make their own minds on what they choose to believe. So, moving on, we'll go ahead and move on with Zach Wolf.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
I've been asked to read a couple questions to you guys from community members that are concerned, and I'm going to try and revise them so I don't say any names I wasn't aware at the time. If it's done, it's not done intentionally. I will do my best. A faculty member or professional staff member should be placed on administrative leave without pay in circumstances following allegation of misconduct, which requires an investigation and review of related facts. This is to protect the college and the person from being investigated from conflicts of interest. This will stop an investigation from possibly being tampered with. Why has this not been done? Since the president's ability to govern the college has been called into question, why is he allowed to make hiring decisions and post people into interim positions with no oversight from the board? In order to act ethically, the board must be put on hold all new administration hiring / changes retroactive to before the hiring of Vice President Emily Klaus. FERPA, Family Education Rights and Protection Act. FERPA gives parents certain rights with respect to their children's education records. These rights transfer to the student when he or she turns the age of 18 or attends a school beyond the high school level. Emily Klaus should also be on administrative leave pending an investigation into her alleged FERPA violations detailed in the Faculty Senate report. Why has the board allowed an obvious conflict of interest with Emily Klaus holding both positions as Vice President of Administration Services and Human Resource Director? We, the public, call and demand for Board of Trustees to initiate a full and complete external financial audit of all college assets and accounting. These are questions that people want to have answered. I think they're important questions. They're fairly simple questions. And you all have sworn to obey and follow these concerns by the public, and we don't feel like they're being addressed in a timely manner.
Next up will be Tony Douglas.
I have a few questions of my own. I want to know why the athletic director is still here. Given the severity of the sanctions that the school has been sanctioned with, it is untrue that he did not know the rules. He personally said them to me and my husband on several occasions, that we were to be cautious and not allow students to reside with us because it was a violation of the rules. If he doesn't know the basic rules of being an athletic director, which I'd like to remind you is how he was sold to us, is that he knew all the rules. I believe that's a basic function of his job and a requirement as the AD. He should no longer be employed here. I want to also know why the college has not investigated the use of their official video that was used to attack a trustee member. The video was not taken from the streaming of Garden City Community College. Only college personnel have access to that. Has the director of GC3 Media been contacted for information on how this video was obtained for use in such a slanderous attack on one of your trustees? Who requested copies of that video? We, the public, don't request. We demand answers to this because we think they can be found very easily. Due to Glendon Forkey's questionable record at college, as a college president and administrator, why was he hired for the position Commissioner, Vice President, and CFO, while
Okay,
there's
Sophie, I'm
an
gonna-
investigation
I'm gonna-
into ethics violations.
I'm reading the rules of the comments. So-
It's a fair question.
It's a personal question.
No, if, I can ask, I can say his name, you may not be able to, but I can say his name because I'm not a member of the board.
I've read the rules of the new,
Uh-huh.
what
Will
we're
there
gonna
be
allow
any
here.
response to any of the 7 questions placed before you?
This is not a question and answer section, this is a comment section.
But we commented in the form of a question, that's why we're asking.
Question is a comment.
It is, actually. Is there any response?
Mr. Chairperson, it's not a question and answer period, it's public comment period, public may comment to the board. It's not a question and answer issue, personnel decisions or any other decisions.
Will you respond after to any reporters or anything in reference to any of these questions?
You have a comment.
That's still personnel action that we can. Yeah, we can't. address.
Not item 6 is not something to do with personnel, it has to do with a video that came out of GC3 and was used to slander Leonard Pitts. And we'd like to know how that was obtained.
Take that under advisement.
Thank you.
Board of Trustees, I am Lon Fishing, I'm a business owner here in the community. And before I start my comments, and hopefully I can get them fit into the 5-minute time frame, Mr. Chairman, I would ask if you have a policy manual in front of you or you have one online that you might access that, because I'm going to reference that during my comments. I am an owner of Garden City Community College, which has been stated tonight as the definition of that has been the taxpayers of Finney County. However, tonight I'm not appearing before you as an owner. Rather, I'm here briefly to speak to you as the board members representing me as a student of and a consultant of policy governance. So please allow me for a moment to put my policy governance experience into context. I first was exposed to this paradigm shift in board governance when I met John Carver in 1994 while serving on the GCCC board. I led the formation of the policies that you have in front of you that have been revised over the years, but those policies were put in place in 1995 with John Carver's counsel. Subsequently, former college president Jim Panchman and I formed an organization called Dynamic Governance Associates, and we counseled governing boards, and since that time, I have been counseling individual board members and individual members collectively as a board. So that's the context in which I make my next few comments. First, permit me to say that policy governance is policy-based, not personality-based, as traditional governance is much of the time. Any questions, decisions, or actions of policy governance board members, which you profess to be, must be measured against previously stated board policies. Second, permit me to remind board members there is a difference between stakeholders and stockholders of the organization that you have been elected to represent. Stakeholders include the taxpayers, students, college presidents, faculty, staff, vendors, parents, families of students, and event attenders, and others. I've just named a few. However, the owners, the taxpayers of Finney County, are the only stockholders of Garden City Community College. You are responsible to the owners, while the president, faculty, and staff are here to serve the customers, which in fact are the students. Third, I call your attention to page 16 of your policy manual, and note in your policy about the governance commitment. You, if there is a desire to adhere to these policies, have committed to governing the community college, and I'm quoting part of it, on behalf of the owners, not on behalf of the other stakeholders. So page 16 is that broadest policy. Fourth, within policy governance policies, you have board stated ends or results. I call your attention to page 3 of your policies. You expect the organization, which is led by the president, who is the CEO, to achieve these board stated ends as long as they are achieved within board stated executive limitations, commonly known as the shall nots in policy governance. These limitations, and I know it's kind of like the preacher on Sunday saying go to scripture such and such. I'm having to skip around in your policy manual. But if you'll go to page 9, the most broadly stated executive limitation, and I paraphrase, shall not be illegal, imprudent, or unethical. And my last point is within the 4th section of your board stated policies on page 27. The heading is monitoring executive performance. But remember, the preamble of that policy says executive performance is synonymous with monitoring organizational performance against board ends and executive limitations. Recently, either unknowingly or unknowingly, you made a decision to utilize external monitoring on page 27, it's policy 2B, for investigating whether or not there's truth to the accusations and allegations. I believe you've chosen the right option for monitoring. However, permit me to remind you that external monitoring is only against ends and executive limitations. And that's how your investigator, your monitor person, should be counseled to only monitor against those policies. And then lastly, if you would permit me just to close, I appreciate your consideration of my comments. And if you have any questions or concerns or clarification, please